A trip to the doc had the boys sad. A certain procedure would be had. But when Tanis says scooch and Pap smears Dary's cooch, a prostate exam didn't seem so bad.
That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Whistling Wednesday. And that means we are once again hanging out at the produce stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show, Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one goes... I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt, the vicarious Victor. And joining us this week, he's a patron, a new member of the Twitter DM group, and we really don't know anything else about him except that he's got an amazing taste in podcasts. So please join me in making some noise for Ryan. And where the hell's my thing? Perfect.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh my God.
Okay, pull it together, people. Pull it together.
Oh my God.
I regret nothing.
Welcome to the produce stand, Ryan.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Can't complain too much.
That's good. Now, you reminded us that this isn't your first time at the produce stand. You joined us for an Ag Hall social a few socials back, but just remind us, where are you speaking to us from?
So I'm near Fort Bragg, North Carolina right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. And where did you discover Letterkenny?
So I actually started watching it first in, I want to say it was 2019.
Okay.
I had a friend in the Army who he basically told me, hey, check this show out. It's on Hulu now. I watched about 3 episodes, didn't get into it, promptly stopped watching it. And that would have been right after Fart Book. And then I picked it up again.
That'll do it.
That makes sense.
Picked it up again 2021, last year in like January.
Right.
Watched the entire series through in couple days, I think, and then seen it probably eight times around since then.
Wow. The second time's the charm for you. Yeah. Second time's the charm. Very good. Yeah, you just have to get past Fart Book, right? I mean, that's the key. Just kind of
as I got past, I was like, how did I not watch this before?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like this podcast. You just got to get past that first episode, or in fact, you can skip it and then the rest is smooth sailing. So, when did you discover our podcast?
It was actually about a month later or so, because it was right after they started all the COVID vaccine stuff.
Right.
And they sent us out to different places. Well, I was sitting in a hotel, bored half the time, and sitting on a bus riding into a place. And so I listened to it every day, riding around for COVID stuff.
Right. I mean, so you mentioned they sent you out. So I forgot to ask you, what do you do in where you live?
So I'm a pharmacist. So I'm in the military, and nothing that I say here reflects on them, on the DoD. That's totally separate from there.
It's okay. No one's listening. That's cool.
It's basically just the DM group and us. Like,
yeah,
it's good.
Exactly.
Just got in case, preface it with that and you're good.
Well, but we've established.
So you've got a needle in one hand and a rifle in the other. Is that how it works?
That's kind of how they define it, as the rifle hand is your main hand, and your medical is your secondary.
Oh wow!
I have a question. Hi Ryan, nice to meet you. I have to know. So we've been told by other people in the Army that they fuck with people. So I want to know, on a pharmacy kind of way, do you mess with people that way? Like you got stuff, or
I see where you're going with this.
Right?
Do you give them sugar pills when they're expecting?
Does it carry over to the medical field?
Maybe he shouldn't be incriminating himself.
In a different way. It's more the, if you're nice to the pharmacy, I'm going to do everything I can to help you. If you're that asshole who's going to try and yell at us.
Right.
Sorry. Down the street.
Don't have any.
Else out.
Yeah.
You're getting some X-Lax in place of X.
Oh God.
Well, you're here with us today because you're a patron, and we're happy to have you here and to meet you. I mean, again, but to get to, we're going to get to know you a bit better today. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Good.
How are you now?
All right. Our lineup for tonight will be Matt, myself, Victor, Tanya, and Ryan. We start with Matt. How's your week?
Week's been good. I mean, I'll kick off by thanking everyone for displacing their whole week.
Yes.
Thanks to
Matt's fault.
Partially to my fault. And I'll admit the truth as to why. I'm going snowboarding tomorrow night, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't held back. So, I appreciate you guys shifting your whole week so that my extracurriculars could still align well. Thank you, Ryan, Victor, for joining. Everyone, appreciate it, guys, and everyone listening. Thank you.
Yeah. You're the reason they won't have a Protestant to listen to on Friday. They'll listen to it on Thursday instead.
They can wait a day. Govern yourselves accordingly. Management.
The snow is on the ground.
You don't have to release it until Friday.
Bite your tongue, Victor. Of course, I'm going to release it right away.
That's even more entertaining because everyone's wondering.
No, I don't like sitting on episodes. They need to be released.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So I got that. Yeah, we made some last minute plans to go up to Collingwood for a couple of days to the in-laws and get some boarding in. So I was going to join tomorrow night regardless. It just might have been from my car or a bathroom in a basement somewhere, but I would have made it work. It would have been awkward.
It would have been like awesome at an after party.
Coming to you live from the slopes.
Exactly. So there's that. And then I spent half the week doing a task around the house that no one asked me to do. And still, I'm not sure Jen even is convinced it was worth doing, which was redoing the storage in our basements. We have this section under our stairs that basically is raw storage. And we're only utilizing about half the space. So it's one of those weird things that was irritating me. So I spent 2 full days tearing it all apart, rebuilding shelves, getting everything back in order. And I'm pretty damn proud of myself. And I don't even think she's even noticed. It's okay because I'm the only one who thought this needed to be done.
Yes.
And I got her done. So
you gave yourself busy work and you fulfilled it.
You wanted a goal that you could check off, get one under the belt. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's one of those ones no one ever asked for, but I'm happy it's done and it looks better. And now we've got not twice as much. We've got a lot more space. We're better utilizing the space. I'm all about efficiency and I feel like it's more efficient. So I'm happy with my result.
Very good. All right. So my week, it's been a week. So my episode with Demond released, what was it, this morning? I think it was. I listened
to it. It's great, man.
Yeah. Thanks. I had a great time and he's a great host. And his podcast is really, really interesting. And yeah, it sounded, the sound is a little unfortunate because when we recorded, the interview was recorded back in December and he was having internet issues he was having internet issues. So we had to do the episode by phone. So that's why my end of it sounded pretty bad.
I gotta quickly say it made me laugh, the irony of it all, because he introduced you as going to school for audio engineering, and that came up multiple times, and then your audio was a phone call in. I'm like, that must have just killed you. Like, it was a great interview. I do encourage everyone to listen to it. It was a lot of fun, but that made me laugh for sure.
Yeah, once you get over the potato quality audio, I'm hoping the content's better, but it was good, and I'm glad I did it, and I'm honored that he asked me to be on. What else happened this week? It's been freaking cold around here, and the cold snap continues. Been busy with work, and yesterday was our son's birthday. So we have a 15-year-old now in the house.
Wow.
And so that's interesting. And so in order to reward him, I mean, he got his gifts and we ordered the keg because he likes, steak.
Not beer, people. Not a beer keg.
Keg Steakhouse. It's
our
favorite.
Judge-free zone.
Yeah. But then he sat down and he watched he did homework with us last night. So
we honored him with homework.
He's like, hey, buddy, do you want to watch homework? Do you want to do homework with mom tonight and myself tonight? He's like, what, Letterkenny? I'm like, yes. Like, you're going to allow me to watch it? I'm like, sure. Because it was like, the episode's practically educational. So
did he ask you?
What did he ask us? What?
Well, the episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Did that come up?
He enjoyed the episode. It spurred on a lot of conversation. I'm all about
having the talk.
We're very open
about
with him.
about the prostate or the pap smears.
About all of it, yes. Lots of conversation.
He had
a lot of horrified looks on his face throughout, but in the end, he did enjoy it, and we'll get into it obviously. And then to further reward him, I said, "Hey, do you want to watch another one?"
Oh my god!
So I played for him the Super Soft birthday episode because Tanya threw me a Super Soft birthday party last summer. He kind of understood that it was a Letterkenny thing, but I wanted to give him context. I kind of forgot certain aspects of that episode. Like that's when they introduced the ostrich fucking story. And there's a few other things that needed to be, schneef. Well, he understood that. Are they talking about cocaine? I'm like,
holy crap. How do you know that?
But anyway, I think he enjoyed it. He appreciated it. And it was fun to share this with him, this little hobby of ours with him. So there's that. Victor, so nice to see you here tonight, bud.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, good to be back.
Mm-hmm. How's your week?
Well, I don't know. The week is we're only halfway through the week.
Halfway.
So there's still more to come. But I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm a bit exhausted. Working and then going to the hospital and stuff like that. So today, this morning, I had an early morning presentation. Tomorrow, I've got a 6 a.m. presentation. These are things where we've got kind of the big 8. Around the world, the representatives, and we're basically presenting to them. So it's been just a long week, and I guess just to give a quick update, my dad's still in hospital. He's for kind of first time listeners, he did get COVID, and he got diagnosed with what's called a COVID pneumonia, which is a little bit worse than a regular pneumonia, where it decreases the flow of oxygen to the brain. So right now he's no longer with COVID, but he's still very, very weak. Like he can't even hold a cup or a spoon or anything like that. So that has to be kind of all done for him. Wow. And his oxygen levels are still very low. So he's getting a lot of oxygen, and he's got kind of the same symptoms that you'd have after a brain injury. Wow. The good news is that it's not chronic; it will all come back. Mm-hmm. But right now, he has no idea who I am.
Oh no! Really?
That's scary.
Yeah, no, and he'll lie there and have a very pleasant, happy conversation with you.
Right.
He's kind of stuck in a different time. I think it's like 40 or 50 years ago for him right now.
Yeah.
So he's telling me stories about his uncles and aunts and people I've never heard of before. Like it's happening right now.
Wow.
He knows that he's got a son named Victor, and when I remind him that I'm that guy, he says, "Well, how lovely for you. How's that working out for you?"
That's such a Victor thing for him to say.
Yeah. It is. So it's a very,
but that's really
it's a very surreal thing. Like, so wow. I'm able to kind of filter through that and kind of look at the big picture and say, hey, things are not getting worse. This is going to get better. We just have to be patient. It's a lot harder for my stepmom though. Like when she hears him say things like that would seem crazy, and telling us that all the nurses are KGB agents, and we have to be very quiet and be careful about what we say because they're listening. Just so what he has is basically called delirium, and it should pass. We have to continue with the oxygen, and everything will come back to normal. Fingers crossed. So that's what's going on with that.
It's great your mom? That you can see him though.
Yeah, and how about your mom? Is she over it? Because she had it too, right?
She is like, so she's technically over it too, but she still has some leftover symptoms, but she wasn't hit with it the way he was. Like she for her, it was more like a bad cold.
Yeah.
Probably like similar to what Matt went through, but those symptoms are still lingering with her. She's a little older. Mm-hmm. So she kind of put herself to the side, and she's kind of been going there every day and stuff like that. And so, it's tough, right? But, life goes on. We're trying to kind of, work is good because it keeps you distracted. what else to say? They canceled the Raptors game that I bought tickets for my son's birthday that we were going to go on February 12th. So that's scrapped now. So we have to.
Well, they didn't cancel it. They're still playing it, but there's no crowd. Yeah.
They canceled. Well, I don't know. They canceled my tickets. So the tickets now say canceled. So I don't know if that means that the actual game's been canceled or my.
I don't think so, because I think they're playing it in empty arenas right now.
I know. Yeah. So maybe the game. Who knows? At this point, like I don't even care if the game happens or not. All I know is I'm not going to be there. So
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll wait till they bring it back, and then I'll get him another. We'll do it later, or I'll have to get him like a jersey or something like that.
Well, it would also help you with your mood, and also help with dealing with this is laughter. So we're hoping to make you laugh tonight. And I think this is a pretty good episode to work with. Tanya, how's your week?
My week's been up. It's had very high highs and very low lows. Let me first say, please, anyone out there who listened to last week, don't put water in your wine because it sucks. Like, don't do that. That was a mistake.
Everyone knew that was a bad idea.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to learn these things from yourself, and you got to do it and learn it. And now I've learned that. I thought I was. I did. I totally thought I was being clever and helping myself stay on track with my goals of losing a few pounds, and that is not where you need to cut the corners. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It was a mistake. I apologize for it. Don't do like me. Don't do those things. So I
think my mother-in-law does that.
It's wrong. Don't do it.
So wrong.
I guess if you wanted to make it weaker, but it's just terrible.
The Portuguese do that too. They call it agua pé, which means water foot.
Water's first because it's water. It's just not. It's not wine anymore. It's water.
No.
Yeah. So that's not what's happening tonight. Tonight is just full out wine, and I brought a bottle to top myself up because I'm having a celebration tonight. So I want to, because I don't know if this is a Canada thing or is it an everywhere thing. The whole Bell Let's Talk Day.
Oh yes.
Is that an everywhere place?
No,
thing?
it's Canada only.
Is it just a Canada thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a shame. So Al, you can say what Bell Let's Talk is.
Well, I mean, Bell, Bell's the telecom company that is around the world, or at least in North America. I don't know if it's in other places, but in Canada, they have this day every year called Let's Talk, and basically they donate a certain amount of money for every tweet, retweet, like on Facebook, like so throughout social media, every share, every kind of social media interaction, they measure it all. It's in the millions or tens of millions actually. And then whatever they get, but whatever they measure by the end of the day, they donate a certain portion of money per interaction to mental health. And it's a great cause. It may be a dubious kind of in terms of like their their execution
because brand on it,
and then the brand on it and stuff, but it's a good cause nonetheless. So regardless of what you think of the company Bell, at least if you hate them, you retweet them even more because it means it costs them more money. So either way, I think,
and they had an ad running on YouTube that if you clicked it, they would also send an additional 5 cents.
Yeah. It's 5 cents per interaction.
Every time anyone watched it, 5 cents would go for mental health.
And every year they give millions and millions of dollars, and it's all good. But
and I just wanted to shine a light on that because, especially during the pandemic, between lockdown and reopening and closing and opening, and it's been so difficult, mentally, on all of us. And there's absolutely I loved the ad that they ran because it was really talking about, having a therapist and going and talking, and that there's no shame in that, and people coming forward and talking about mental health and talking about the challenges that they themselves have gone through. And I thought it was a great opportunity to say that I myself have been going through some challenges and difficulties with mental health, and hitting the wall over a month ago, And I talked to my therapist today and wish her happy Bell Mental Health Day. And I had a breakthrough today and had that awakening moment that you always struggle to find, and trying to find clarity in your repetitive patterns and trying to improve your life, improve yourself, always trying to work harder to make things easier, right? And not have to struggle with those things and talk about things and not feeling that you don't have somebody to talk to. So I thought that was really important to say today, for sure.
And it was very important. And the fact that you're sharing, I know that you were kind of reluctant to share it since it's been going on, but
yeah, I have been. And I feel today of all days, I just feel so empowered. And it's been a very long time that I've felt that energy and felt that power come shifting back into my hands. So yeah, I think it's so important. People, if there's anyone out there struggling, don't ever feel that you're alone. Don't ever feel like you have to take it on, because there's so many. And if the one person doesn't work, find another. Like, there's so many people out there to help, and it's so important. It's not anything to be ashamed of, for sure.
Yeah. Well said. On that note, Ryan,
How are you now?
how are you now? How was your week?
So I found that bad things tend to come in threes, or bad luck comes in threes. So I'm hoping that this should be the end of it. But
Okay.
I had fun with last week. My furnace had died.
Oh,
So
geez.
right before the ice storm hit us, and then the snowstorm came the next weekend.
Mhm.
Which I'm good with all that. It's just the people here in the South are not good with that.
Right. How are they dealing with that down there?
It all melted pretty quick.
Yeah.
Right? But
Well,
man,
you're from
driving down the
you're
road-
from Michigan, right? So yeah, this is old
Yeah.
hat to you, but yeah, for them, they must have been like, "What's going on here?"
Like, I thought I escaped
They
this shit.
they got a few inches of snow on the ground, and I saw people. I went to the gym, and on the way there, they are driving down the road 20 miles an hour with
Wow.
their hazards on, and it's a sunny day, and the roads aren't even like slushy.
And you're just laughing at them, aren't you?
Yeah, going past them way faster.
Wow.
So,
That's amazing.
Very cool.
so that was number one, and then number two, my truck then started to have issues,
Oh,
and
jeez.
its fan wouldn't turn off, and I had to. It's in the shop now, trying to get that fixed. So, and then the third thing now was I found out yesterday. Now I got a nice little positive COVID test. So,
Oh
got the
no,
vid.
Ryan. Oh,
it's not
here
a
you
little
are
funny.
trying to help other people not get it. Oh, dude.
I've managed to avoid it the entire pandemic until.
Yeah.
And
I was the same.
we didn't get any days. We didn't work from home or anything. We were working in person the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, man,
You better
I mean,
get it after you get vaccinated.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully this is a highlight then for your week. But I also know that you were really hoping that Victor was going to join us today, and I couldn't tell you whether he was or not until the second he logged on.
Literally, he showed up.
Yeah, he just showed up. He's like, we don't know if Victor's coming, and then when he logged on, it's like, there he is. So, do you want to maybe reveal to us why you were looking forward to seeing Victor today?
Oh, Ryan, I love it.
I believe Victor.
Spatula
Good
buddies.
I
job.
believe that Ryan's spatula is bigger than yours, Victor.
It's bluer.
Hold on, hold those back up again. Victor,
It's a-
hold yours up.
Hold them up.
It's a
hold them up.
solid blue.
Yeah, take the picture.
Yes, but can you do this with your spatula?
What are you doing? Oh,
Oh no, but I can.
you can.
You can flick with it. Oh my God.
Anyway, so
Spatula
there might be a
wars.
spatula war during this episode, but that's great. So I mean, and to get us started, I think we need a little bit of pep. So why don't we? I feel like a coffee. Who else feels like a coffee?
I'd have a
And
coffee.
everyone have a coffee? I'm surprised we're not having coffee right now. Well, let's listen to Tanya.
All right, now, good news.
Just like SCOOCH Energy Drink, Diabolical Coffee has a new spokesperson,
Me. Diabolical coffee is devilishly good coffee and diabolically awesome swag. There is a roast for all tastes and even some you didn't know you wanted. You can order whole bean, coarse, and standard grind, and espresso. Or if you're like Al and me, there's a K-Cup option for single cup brewers. And for the duration of season 10 of our podcast, you can use the promo code Produce Stand for 10% off anything in the store. That's 10% off all coffee and merch. Thank you to Diabolical Coffee and to Eric for your support.
Yes, thank you, Eric. And speaking of support, I'd like to welcome Sarah from Virginia, Shane Jensen from North Andover,
Massachusetts,
Charles Hubler from Elma, Washington, Pix Losey, No One Special, Ron Dickey from Great White North, Anne Troy from Chesterfield, Michigan, Spencer Merrick from North Dakota, Tank, Teresa from Minneapolis, Scott from Eastern Washington, Joe Mugford, The Rocket Review, Connor Elliott, Patty Houlihan from St. Louis, Missouri, Clay Little from Wiley, Texas, So Lost, I Condemn White Supremacy from Cedar Park, Texas, Sarah, Fenyon 32 from Boston, Jake McFarland from Collins, Montana, Tauntaun Rancher from Canada, Catherine Jones from Sandusky, Ohio, at W. Ty Ramber from Apex, North Carolina, Michael, Jason Kennedy, Amy McFly, Stephen Chalmers from Turguna, Australia, David Drolette from Quebec City, Quebec, Tom Fitzgerald from Denver, Colorado, Sean Nissen from Wisconsin, Bree Cook, Derek Pirate King from Littleton, Colorado, BC from Dallas, Adam Salish from New Jersey, from Jersey City, New Jersey, Ashley Craig, Scott Kaufman from Philadelphia, Jingle Blas from Washington, Kentucky, Kaylee from Cincinnati, Ohio, Ian Miller, Joanne Johnson, Dwight Rutledge, Leroy Burgess from Henrietta, New York, Bill from Syracuse, New York, Bill Dollar Bill from Syracuse, New York, Joe from Nowheresville, Jim Guy, Dave Truelove from Oshawa, Ontario, Curtis Winkle from Knoxville, Tennessee, and Rob Youngman from Chicago. Thank you for following and hopefully for listening.
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed episode 3 of season 10, Dick Meat. That episode got a fresh rating from Tanya and our guest Brian, and a clearance from Matt and myself. Victor, did you end up watching that episode?
Oh yeah, of course.
And
I give it a fresh.
You do? Of course you do. You love those Dick episodes.
Yeah, it was a lower fresh, but it was a fresh for sure. I mean, it was the weakest of the Dick trilogy, but I mean, you can't get knocked down to a clearance because it was the weakest of the Dicks.
Okay.
It was flaccid. I feel like it was, it was halfway, it was a semi.
It was halfway up with nowhere to go.
But I don't know. I feel like it was still an enjoyable episode to watch from beginning to end. And for me, the MVP, nobody, weakest performance out of the three, but Noah was definitely to be delivering those lines without breaking character. Right. I don't know. He's got to be for me the MVP.
So Noah is your MVP. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it would have definitely been a fresh, and I wouldn't have been the one to break the unicorn. So.
No, that's okay. You weren't the one. And did it make you?
Tanya, sorry, hold on, quick note. Tanya, do you see how he did that? He covered all of his tasks in one little spiel.
I am damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. If I say, oh, good, I was like, it's a podcast, Tanya. Why aren't you talking more?
All right.
The thing that stands out for me the most from that episode is Tanya's monologue.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that was the longest Tanya introduction from all of our episodes.
What monologue? Refresh my memory.
I had a monologue?
Yeah. How was your week, Tanya?
Oh,
I know, right?
episode.
I couldn't shut my mouth. It's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
From Tanya to Brian, who took it over as well.
I
We
don't
thought
know.
we might have had a shorter week.
No.
We missed you, buddy, but we thought we might have gotten it.
No, it didn't happen. No.
I was
Between Tanya and Brian,
filling
it was
in
a
for
marathon.
Victor. I was like it was me and Victor.
Anyway, according to Twitter, 65.8% gave it a fresh, 26.3% gave it a clearance, and 7.9% gave it a compost. So this week, we recap and review episode 4 of season 10, Prostate. Matt, have you done your homework?
Yes.
I've done my homework. Victor?
With trepidation.
Tanya? and Ryan? Thrice. Here we go then.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
We open at the produce stand. The Hicks are hanging out. A very drunk Wayne joins them.
What are you looking at? Huh?
Wayne, what's good?
Nothing.
Okay, well, what was good?
Oh, darts I smoked and hearts I broke.
What?
Nothing.
He's hammered, good buddies.
For me?
He's hammered.
What's that?
You get into a little happy hour over there, bud?
I'm always happy, Kate.
Where's Rosie?
She never got out of it.
Nothing beats a cat nap between happy hours and suppers.
Couple Caesars will do that too, gal.
Some snacking in there, too. There was some pretzels with the Caesars.
You better watch out there, good buddy. You're going to get scoliosis of the liver.
Nope, don't think that was right, Dary.
Nope.
Fine. You're going to get psoriasis of the liver.
Strike 2.
Okay, spina bifida of the liver.
Airball.
Hang 'em up.
Okay, serendipitous of the liver, and just leave it at that.
Wayne goes on to talk about a bar in Moncton, New Brunswick that'll give you 3 Ryan Cokes for $9. It's the home of the 3 for $9. The others can't believe how cheap that is. Dary asks where Wayne read that. He said he found it on the internet. Dary questions whether it needs to be Ryan Cokes. That gets drunk Wayne up out of his chair to confront Dary. Dary prefers rum and Cokes. The Hicks start rhyming off other examples of highballs, which is an ounce of booze with a little pop. Drinks like Ryan Ginger, Ryan Sevens, vodka tonics, etc. Then Dary wonders where the 3 for $9 was, whether the 3 for $9 was designed so that patrons paid with $10 bill and then gave the rest as a tip. The Hicks go on a jag about how that would be such a lousy tip.
What is this cheapskate, beatskate, New Brunswick bullcrap?
Yeah, cost of living ain't too high as in New Brunswick, so there's no excuse for tipping poorlies.
That's what I said. It's just loony.
I was out there one time and I heard a guy say it like loney.
Huh?
I was just saying, I was out there one time and heard a guy say it like loney.
Loney?
Yeah, like a loney.
More Bass Ackwards, New Brunswick bullcrap.
Actually, as I recall, dude said he's from like the other side of the Great Lakes.
Oh, so then it'd be a Minnesota loney.
Or a Wisconsin loney.
Can you imagine being the cheapskate, beatskate New Brunswicker who doesn't give the bartender that loony after? He'd say, what are you going to do with that loony?
And he'd say, it's not yours until I give it to you.
He'd say, you get your mitts off that loony.
Oh, you got big plans for that loney's, do you?
What are you going to do with a
You
loony?
got kids? If you did, you know, a loney goes a long way.
Then she'd say, I do have kids, and I came a long way for this loney.
What are you going to do with that loony?
What I do with the loney's none of your beeswax.
That's my New Brunswick loney.
It's not even a Tony. It's only a loney.
It's not a Tony, so you have no problem parting with the loney.
Oh, you got big plans for the loney.
What are you going to do with that loney?
Take the whole family down Disney with that loney.
Buy a boat with the loney.
Build a moat with a loney.
Fur coat with a loney.
Tell me what you're going to do with that loney.
And then cut to Wayne, who says to the camera, tip your server. And we cue the theme. All right, Matt, you're up first. What do you think of this cold open?
Oh my God, it was so good. I feel like we're going to have mixed opinions on this, but to me, this was a top 5. Like this.
Really?
I fucking loved it, man. And Wayne was 100% the star of this.
Mm-hmm.
His little Wayne's cock strut around there every time someone said, and he got up and just pucked his feathers up and just marched and then sat like, oh my God, drunk Wayne is my favorite thing in the world right now. I could watch that. If they just continued that scene and what I laughed about, I mean, the scene really went nowhere. And that's what I loved about it. They kind of started talking one thing, and then they got this loney thing, and there was a Tony thrown in the middle of it all. And it didn't make any sense. And then back to Tip Your Server. It was nothing and everything and brilliant. And it just fucking made me laugh. From the moment it started to the end of that, I was like crying. I don't know what it was. And I know there's going to be different opinions of this one, but I just love the physical humor in that. And it continues in this episode. We won't get to that yet. It was just so brilliant as they're going down those rants. And But the whole idea is this Looney thing, because I've run this before too. Like when I'm very much a tipper. It's the right thing to do.
Yep.
Let's be clear on that. But yeah, you run the experience where you buy like a beer and then you round up. You're like, well, of course, just take the loaning, and that's what you do. Even though sometimes like a percentage, if you want to really break it down in percentage, you're way over tipping in percentage sometimes. But it doesn't fucking matter. It's a loaning, and you just give it to them, and it's okay. But I loved it. I loved everything about this open, and it was just so much fun. And Wayne was my hero here. I could watch him fucking cockstrut like that all day long.
Okay. Let's see.
Wow.
Before I get to what I thought of this, I feel like we should probably mention because we had to straighten this out before when we had an American guest on.
All right.
A loony is $1.
This is where Al mansplains.
Yeah, exactly.
A $1 coin.
Yeah,
See, I can say I actually do know what it is. Good
yeah.
news.
Well, you do.
Canadian plane.
Yeah.
Canadian plane.
So a loony is $1. A toonie is a $2. They're coins, and they're called loonies and toonies. So they're making fun of, I guess, some New Brunswickians or no, it was actually Michiganders or whatever who were calling it tonies and loanies or something like that. So
Loney.
Anyway.
I'm gonna call it that from now on.
My favorite part of this cold open, Matt, you mentioned it, was Drunk Wayne. He was hilarious. Every time, everyone, he'd just get up and do a lap around Katie for inexplicable reasons.
And the one time he got right up in Dary's face, and just like stared him down and turned around. Like
it was very, very funny. The rest of it was just like it didn't go anywhere. It didn't make any. I don't know. It was just it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad cold open. It was just kind of blah. Like we've had such great cold opens last season and this season so far. This one here was just like nothing. Like, I don't know. It left me real cold.
Can I make one point?
Yeah.
If Wayne wasn't drunk,
mm-hmm.
I think his persona in that scene set the stage for nonsense.
Sure.
And that's why I loved it, because I've absolutely had nonsense conversations with friends and buddies that go absolutely nowhere. It felt very relatable in a weird fucking way. And that's why I love this so much. Like he just set the tone.
Well, and they did the Letterkenny thing where they just talk nonsense and then they riff on whatever it is. And this time it was on the Tonys and the Lonies and whatever. I was waiting for them to kick into Moni, but that didn't happen. I mean, there was a lot of like cleverness in there and a lot of good stuff. It just wasn't very funny. And but except for Wayne. Wayne was hilarious. Drunk Wayne and getting up and doing the cock of the walk thing. It was really funny. Victor, what did you think of this cold open?
Yeah, I thought it was just okay.
Yeah.
I don't find drunk adults funny. I've been to way too many parties in my younger days where there's always that one drunk idiot that starts out funny and then everyone's just feeling awkward and embarrassed for him.
We learned about about you during Bradley is a Killer. You hated that one too.
That's right. So I didn't hate anything about this cold open. I thought that, and I don't think they need to be drunk to have nonsense conversations. I think that's been proven before that. Most of the conversations are nonsense anyway, and they're not drunk when they're having it. But in terms of the Lonies, I'm just trying to figure out why Dary was speaking in a Jamaican accent while everybody else was in
I thought it was more like an Irish.
I heard a lot of Irish there. Yeah,
I thought it was like a leprechaun kind of.
Loney.
Well, what I can say, a lot of people can't do accents in any level. A good example. Jen, the other half there, her family is German, and every single time she tries to mimic her grandmother or Oma, it comes off like an Italian. So it's nowhere near, but she sticks with it. And I love her.
Yeah, Germans don't use their hands like this. They don't.
Yeah, but she does. It doesn't sound right at all, but it's hilarious.
So for me, that was like the only funny part of the cold open is when they were talking in the accent. And is that politically correct to find that funny? I guess it is. So it was just okay. It was okay. It wasn't horrible or anything like that, but I'm certainly not with Matt, like in terms of being top 5.
Oh, I knew no one would be.
Yeah, top 5. That's just crazy talk. Tanya, what do you think?
I'm just exactly what Victor just said. It's written down in my book. Dary and his accent was absolutely, it made me laugh. I thought of a leprechaun and I pictured him dressed up and trying to get the Lonis, and And it was so funny how he said that. I know you guys are talking about Wayne strutting around, but I'm like, what's Wayne doing? But he's done that once before, right? Where he's walked around and he's stuck his foot up and kind of leaned in just to kind of give you that, But he
wasn't drunk last
But he wasn't drunk with that. But the whole strutting around and then taking the seat back again. And it was like, what is he doing? But yeah, we've had friends over who have been completely, it reminded me back to a friend that just kept on going around in circles on the same thing over and over again. It's just exactly what Letterkenny does. What's the 3 things that make up a Canadian?
Oh my god!
It was nonsense. It was just nonsense over and over and over again. Anyways, it was hilarious, and Dary was my favorite on this one, and yeah.
Ryan, what do you think?
I really liked it.
Okay.
I won't give it top 5, but I didn't hear half the words. Half the time it was just kind of that physical comedy again.
Sure. Yeah.
Watching Wayne walk around over and over in a circle, and he kept sitting back down, and he kind of, at least one of the times I saw, he kind of tripped over the chair a little bit too. And that made me laugh.
Yeah.
But also noticing, like, I don't know if anyone else saw, his eyes were squinting so hard when he was talking. And I just kept getting vibes of like that In It to Win It episode.
Right. Yeah.
And all I could think was 8 beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really liked it, but I didn't hear most of the words once they really started going back and forth about loonies and toonies. I was just
Loonies and Tonys.
Loonies and Tonys. All I was hearing was that accent as it kept shifting more and more from like an English to an Irish.
Right.
And that's all I focused on.
Nowhere near a Michigan accent or
whatever that's supposed to be.
Or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's Minnesota.
That's Minnesota. Yeah. Coming out of the theme, we start with scene 1. Wayne is in the barn. He's choring. Katie walks in wearing a skimpy yellow bikini. And Wayne notes that it must be laundry day. Katie informs Wayne that their GP, Dr. Rutherford, has retired. And after going back and forth about what a really great guy he was, Katie announces that there's a new guy, and he's got an appointment to open a file with the new doctor this morning because everyone needs a family doctor. Wayne says he can't because he's choring. He's got choring to do. Katie argues with Wayne that he's always got choring. And then finally, Wayne agrees.
Okay, Katie.
Katie, okay?
Maybe you ought to see if he's got time for you too. Figure out why you've been allergic to clothes your whole fucking life.
I love that. By the way, Katie in that bikini, holy crap. You know, if we could
now.
Yeah, if we could play Fuck Fight Ferda, let me tell you. Scene 2 at the Cedar Bend Medical Center. Wayne walks in. Coach is sitting in the waiting area. Wayne approaches the front counter, sitting behind it, dressed like an old-fashioned nurse. Sitting behind it, dressed like an old-fashioned nurse, is Glenn.
What?
Glenn.
I know what you're thinking. This guy does everything.
Which guy?
Me.
Well, do you?
I would.
All right.
Katie called this morning and said that you need a little checkup. And I said to her, well, we do everything from coughs to colds to pimples on your dinky.
Oh, is that what you said?
Wayne, I'm going to need to pull your file.
Glenn walks over to a desk, revealing that he's wearing a nurse's dress and high heels, bends over to give Wayne a better view. Wayne just looks away. Glenn grabs Wayne's file and asks him to have a seat in the waiting area. Wayne sits beside Coach, who's looking very svelte these days, and makes sure that Wayne knows the reasons why.
Oh, going pretty hard at the gym, right? Probably tell from my bod.
Can confirm.
I was at the gym this morning, and the owner of the gym comes over, and she says to me, "Hey, I think you're here more than I am."
Oh, is that what she said?
Yeah. And she owns the gym.
Yeah, so you'd think no one would be there more than her.
Where, at the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah. But she said it, not me, so.
Well, there you go.
Coach notices he never sees Wayne at the gym. He asks Wayne how he keeps such a sweet bod. Wayne answers that you should lift with your legs, not with your back. Coach asks why. And just then Tyson walks in the clinic and answers that if you don't, you get hemorrhoids. Tyson sits beside Wayne and asks why he's there. Wayne says he's getting his tits done. Coach takes the opportunity to let Tyson know how hard he's been hitting the gym, then asks him if he's there to open a new file with the doctor as well. Tyson says no, he's there because he's got hemorrhoids. The doctor, played by Canadian actor and comedian Darren Rose, known for Mr. D and hosting the Canadian remake of the Match Game. The doctor calls on Tyson for his appointment. As Tyson follows the doctor into the exam room, Coach wonders out loud what he thinks the doctor's real name is. Wayne says he looks like a Darren, which is the actor's actual name, Coach thinks he looks like a Jim, going back to, again, talking about the gym. Next scene 3, in the examination room.
Matt and I just went, oh, right, Jim.
So
I literally saw the light bulb.
Yeah. So full disclosure here. I'm laughing at you as well, but when I was looking it up, I'm like, why did he think his name was Jim? Because I'm like, did he play a character named Jim in another show that I don't know about? And then it dawned on me, Coach, all he wants to talk about is how he's going to the gym. So
the gym has replaced Barb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Funny.
Scene number 3, in the examination room, the doctor comments on Tyson's hemorrhoids.
Wow, you really do lift a lot of weights.
It ain't your grandma's cherry cobbler.
Yeah, I prefer cherry crumble, but what I see here is more of a raspberry crisp. I'm going to write you a script. It's an ointment. You can apply it 3 times a day. You can use the applicator or your finger, but if you use your finger, you got to go knuckle deep.
Hey, is there such thing as a 3-knuckler?
Only recreationally. Hey, when was your last prostate exam?
Need a hand in there, Doc? Maybe a finger?
Nope.
Okay. I'll be right on God. Change your mind.
Mm-hmm. So...
Not for love or money, Doc.
You've never had a prostate exam?
Not for all the tea in China.
A prostate exam is a standard and very important part of any head-to-toe physical. It's my responsibility to strongly suggest one with every new file I open.
Glad I ain't opening one.
Wow. I'm already here. Why don't I just saunter up there and check your attorney general?
I don't have time.
Well, you never had one before, right?
No, but...
Well, now's the time. All right, don't worry. The exam only takes a second. This is clean.
Cut to the outside the exam room. Tyson rushes out. Wayne asks him how his cherry tomatoes are. Tyson asks them if they're there to open a new file. They are. Tyson informs them that opening a new file involves a head-to-toe physical. Wayne and Coach don't see a problem with that.
Guess what comes with a head-to-toe physical?
Gym membership.
Now, I want to make sure I heard that right. So you said...
You mean...
Why? Pardon? The doctor will see you now.
I'm out. Or it says Coach. Mm-hmm. Whoever wants to go first. Give me a sec to disinfect.
Both Wayne and Coach panic and make up reasons why they have to go, and they both leave in a hurry. Scene number 4. Wayne is sitting alone in the produce stand. Dary joins him and sits right beside him. They both make uncomfortable small talk. Then Dary moves closer to Wayne, asks him if he's heard Dr. Rutherford is retiring. Wayne says he has and that he was a good guy. Dary agrees. Dary sheepishly asks Wayne if he's going to open a new file with the new guy. Wayne says he might. Dary says it's good. You should have a family doctor. Wayne asks Dary if he'll go down and open a file. Dary says yes. He thought he would. So he did. After breakfast, then there was a long pause. Wayne finally asks whether it's true that you get a head-to-toe physical. Dary can't confirm. Wayne asked if Dary wanted to do anything notable in and around the end of her. Dary says you could call it notable. Another long pause, and then Wayne asks what it was. Dary takes a while to answer, then finally says tunneling, causing Wayne to fidget in his seat. He asks whether it was in the gallery, or then Dary answers down the crawl space. Wayne asks Dary how it was for him.
I heard that sort of thing can break your heterosexuality.
Well, how would it do that?
Well, you let someone go up there once and it just doesn't work anymore.
Well, like it just stops working.
Bottoms up.
Like instantly, or you just like losing power to the dash for a wee bit?
Oh, she won't turn over.
And no matter how many times you try.
Oh, won't even spark.
Is that right? Is that right?
Wayne asks if Dary ended up opening a file, or a new file, and then there was another long pause, and we switched to the next scene where we cut to Dary's examination at the doctor's office. It's a flashback. The doctor has just checked Dary's tonsils and suggested Dary might want to try flossing. The doctor then instructs Dary to take his pants down. There's a knock at the door. It's Glenn offering a hand or maybe a finger again. The doctor turns him down and then gets back to business.
So just take my pants down?
Yeah, take your pants down. I'll do your biannual prostate exam, and then we'll get you back to that barn. It smells like you just came from.
I never had one before.
Wait, Dr. Rutherford never met your sheriff's deputy? Your Hoshalaga Maisonneuve?
No.
Went outside the city limits?
Never.
No quick Uncle Sam? Huh. Never touched the Grand Clan, eh? Well, we're here now, so why don't we just dance on up there and check out Bob Cajun?
Maybe I don't have time right now.
You never had one before, right?
But I just...
And now's the time. Don't worry. The exam only takes a second.
The doctor gets out a tub of Vaseline and dips his fingers into it before realizing he hasn't put a glove on first.
And just before that, what you heard him is toss away the tonsil stick that he just threw on the table. And prior to that, he was putting it in his mouth after it had been in Dary's mouth while giving the take your pants down instructions. So,
that's right.
Just give you a little bit about his hygiene habit.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. But yeah, so I've got a few production notes for this scene because there's a lot going on here. So first of all, one of the references that the doctor uses to describe Dary's asshole was the Hochelaga Maisonneuve. So that is a neighborhood in Montreal known to be one of the few dangerous areas of the city due to the impoverished inhabitants. So that's a very, very deep cut in terms of like a reference that no one else would get. And I'm actually shocked I was able to find it with a Google because I could barely make out what he said. Production note number 2, during this entire scene, the phone is ringing incessantly. Like it seems like Glenn is ignoring it because he's listening through the exam room door for his opportunity to offer his finger up for medical science. The phone just doesn't stop ringing. And then production note number 3, during this scene, the doctor bites and taps on his own teeth with the tongue depressor that he just used on Dary's throat. This is not a good doctor. Despite his insistence on the prostate exam, which is a good thing to do, but he's not a good doctor. Next scene. Back to Dary telling Wayne the story at the produce stand. Wayne asks what happened next. Straight up the channel. Dary says no, he pumped the brakes. Wayne asks him how. Dary says he had to poo. Said he'd never had to poo so bad his entire life, so he took his pants back up. Wayne interrupts and scolds Dary for being pert near around the bases. He should have just let the doctor slide into home. Wayne thinks Dary missed the opportunity to get it over and done with. Dary doesn't disagree. It's just the feeling of another man spreading his butt cheeks was a little queer.
But you have that one. This man wanted to spread my butt cheeks wide open and just...
Yeah, that's what Tyson said. He said, and that was all just a bit too much for you then.
Yeah, so I took my pants up and hit eject on the...
But you're right at the doorstep of the...
But I couldn't,
But couldn't you just...
Just then, Katie walks up and informs Wayne that the clinic called. She's annoyed at Wayne for missing the appointment. Wayne tries to make it about Glenn tattling on him, but Katie holds firm. Dary moves closer to Wayne and puts his hand on Wayne's knees in a show of support. Katie puts the guilt trip, saying that she went through the trouble to make him the appointment, and then he goes being ignorant of her time. Wayne says it wasn't on purpose. At this point, he's sounding like a child defending himself to a parent. Katie tells Wayne that if he leaves right now, they can still fit him in. And after a little more protest, tells them both to scooch their bums and storms off, leaving Wayne and Dary sitting there with their heads down. Scene 7. Back at the clinic. Glenn is at the front desk, furiously typing away at who knows what. Wayne and Dary approach the desk.
Daryl! Why?
Glenn?
You two's left in a hurry this morning. Did you forget to say goodbye to someone?
I had to poo.
Thank you for your honesty, Daryl. Why?
I had a spin class.
You had a spin class?
Monday, Wednesday, and twice on Friday.
I'll have to verify that. Let me see your calves.
Look, can the doc still fit us in or no?
We'll have to verify that also. Let me pull your files.
Once again, Nurse Glenn seductively goes on over the cabinet, bends over with one leg bent up. Wayne and Dary just keep eye contact with each other. Glenn returns with their files and instructs them to take a seat in the waiting area, where Coach is already there. He gets into the gym talk once again. He said he bent over for the Olympic bar and bent with his back like Wayne told him to, which he didn't. And now Coach has the grapes of wrath like Tyson. He's got little fish eggs, little Tapico, a little trouser rub, a little backyard caviar. Coach asked Tyson if he could borrow his ointment and for his cranberries, and Tyson thought that was gay. Coach is a little ill at ease that the doctor is going to want to dance on up there. He is, after all, in the neighborhood. Dary asks Coach if he's ever had his prostate checked. He hasn't. Neither has Dary or Wayne. Dary asks Coach why he hasn't had one.
I'm scared.
What for?
I've never had a desire to put anything up my butt. So let's operate on the assumption I'm not going to love it. You know, like I love going to the gym.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit cramped up there.
So what if the doc traipses up there and he sees a reason to traipse up there again?
Oh.
One traipse could lead to many traipses.
Yeah, I guess it could.
A lifetime of traipsing even.
So it's an ignorance is bliss type thing.
I never even thought about that.
Coach asks Dary why he hasn't done it yet. Dary tells Coach what he heard about breaking your heterosexuality.
I think if something like that's going to break your heterosexuality, it was already broken.
Yeah, that's
that was my initial thing that I came up with as well.
Then Coach turns to Wayne and asks him why he's so hesitant.
Well, I'm a bit ashamed of myself here, fellas.
What's Scoop, good buddy?
Lay it on us, brother.
I hate change.
Well, that seems like a slow death.
I don't know what your whole life's. Come into the dock, shines a light in your eyes, looks in your mouth, listens to your heart. And now, all of a sudden, they want to put their finger up your ass. Fellas, the whole thing just makes me want to go to bed.
Tyson walks into the clinic as Wayne is finishing his speech and joins the others in hesitance row. Tyson can't live with himself for running out of the doctor's office over a little oil check. He's embarrassed. Coach and Dary try to make him feel better. Dary ran out too. That makes it even worse for Tyson.
You know what? We all scrambled. So maybe it's not that embarrassing.
My pants were still down when I started running.
Did you trip?
Yep.
That's fucking embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
The boys' pity party is interrupted by the doctor. Says he'll take them in no particular order. He just needs a moment to disinfect his hand as he wipes his hand on his sweater. The boys get up, but are interrupted by Tanis and Shania, who are also in the waiting room. It's unclear how long they've been there. The boys say hi to the ladies. Coach wastes no time mentioning that he's been at the gym. Shania makes fun of him for bringing it up, not once, but twice. Tanis says Coach is looking good. He's like a drunk 7. Coach is thrilled with his new rating. Tanis asks why the boys are there.
Daryl, what are you doing here? Did you put a chicken bone up your nose again?
I was told you're not supposed to ask people that.
Coach, if you're here to get a referral to talk to a shrink about your dead wife, it's good. It's time. Tyson, you can't be helped. What's up, boo?
I already know.
Getting your tits done?
Not so bad.
Seriously, what up?
Well, we're all getting our prostates checked. Well, we're exposed to.
What do you mean you're exposed to?
Well, we're
scared.
Skittish.
Tired.
Yeah, it's just none of us have ever had this done before, so...
Tanis asks what the prostate is. Does she have one? Dary says he's told that in women it's the G-spot. Shania is surprised to hear that guys have a G-spot. Tyson says they don't. Dary says he was told that they do, likely from Squirrely Dan. Shania asks, why wouldn't you want to get that checked? Tanis once again asks what the prostate is. The boys start whistling again in turns, and so does Tanis. And so now she seems to understand. So Tanis asks the next logical question.
So what's he put up there?
The fuck you mean? What does he put up there, Tanis?
Well, what's the apparatus called that he puts up there?
A digit.
Huh?
A pointer.
Huh?
A feeler.
What?
A finger.
A finger.
Yes, a phalange.
And then what?
Then what?
And then what else does he put up there?
It's a...
like it's just as tactile.
For how long?
He said the exam is over in seconds.
Tanis and Shania look at each other confused. Then the women start calling the boys fucking pussies. Coach whispers to the others, that's derogatory. Tanis tells the guys they should try getting a pap smear. Tyson asks what that is, and Tanis says it's like getting fingered, but with salad tongs. The guys...
Oh, shit.
The guys can't believe what they're hearing. Tanis asks for a volunteer. Dary asks why, which automatically makes him the volunteer. So Tanis rearranges the chairs in the waiting room and invites Dary to lay on the floor on his back and put his legs up on a couple of chairs, acting as stirrups.
Now put your feet in the stirrups. And we're going to pretend like his mitt's just right out.
Is his mitt right out?
Oh, it's right out. It's getting free air conditioning.
I get that at the gym.
I'm the doctor, and I'm going to put my face right up in his mitt.
You put your face right in his mitt?
Can confirm, and it's the only time it's not aggressively welcome.
Well, you're really in his mitt there, Ted.
Not yet. Now you're going to want to scooch.
Why?
Because it's a pap smear, idiot.
More.
More?
More.
I think this has gone far enough.
Okay, now we're going to insert the speculum.
Upon hearing this, an excited Glenn runs over to join the demonstration. Speculum was his nickname in high school.
Who? I missed that. What?
You know what the jaws of life are?
Yeah, it's what a fireman uses to pry a survivor out of an automobile car in the accident.
It's like that, but for your mitt.
Glenn mimics inserting the speculum into Dary. Shania adds that they used to keep that thing ice cold straight through the 90s.
Now that the speculum is inside of Daryl's mitt, thank you, nurse.
My absolute pleasure, doctor.
Now I'm going to take this cone-shaped brush and this teeny tiny plastic spatula, and I'm going to scrape Daryl's cervix like I'm scraping yogurt out from the inside of a cup.
Not a cervix.
What's that?
Do I have one of those?
It's like inside your mitt, so you need to know. And scraping.
Oh, such fine work, doctor.
Scraping.
You really have to get it all.
And I'm scraping Daryl's mitt.
Doctor, little thought here. Since we're already in the neighborhood, what if we bebop downstairs and check out his lukewarm Steve Aston?
And as much as I would love to keep scraping Daryl's mitt, he's in his barn clothes.
The demonstration ended. Dary is allowed to get up.
Think about that the next time you want to cry about a finger up your ass for a few seconds.
For many, it's a treat.
Put your mitt away, pussy. Thanks, nurse.
Tanis and Shania leave the boys with their thoughts. They all look at each other and all together get up and walk toward the examination room. Dary goes first. Before entering the room, he looks over to the others with a frightened look on his face. The others give him encouraging signs, and he goes in. What happens next is an intense musical montage of the four men, each getting their poke, but all we see is their facial expressions, which are hilarious, and then their triumphant exit from the clinic. Scene 8, final scene. At Modine's 3, the guys are joined once again by Tanis and Shania, having some post-exam drinks.
Wow. Never experienced anything like that at the gym.
Okay.
It's a bit like taking a shit, but on rewind.
That's a mental picture.
Well, it's a conversation piece is what it is. It's a conversation piece.
I guess a wee bit of burrowing isn't the end of the world.
Talk to me when you get daggered.
How far up does he go?
I'd say about an inch.
I'd say it's more like 2.
No, it's not 2 inches. I've seen 2 inches. And it's not 2 inches.
It's a bit queer having a man spread your butt cheeks for you, eh?
Well, that's exactly what I said. I said it's a bit queer.
The word means 2 things.
Coach asks Dary if his heterosexuality is intact, and at that very moment, a Nick approaches their table asking if they want more drinks. Dary says please and thank you, and as a Nick walks away, Dary gets giddy and says she's fully operational. Wayne asks Coach how he's feeling. Coach has a couple of strawberries in the rhubarb, but other than that, hunky-dory. Then Tyson and Wayne sum up the day. Come on.
Wasn't all that bad.
Lots of things. It's not bad. It's just new. It's a new part of life.
Tanis asks Dary what he's going to do with his intact heterosexuality. Dary looks over at the bar where both Nick and Bonnie are chatting. They both look over at their table. Dary stands up and proclaims he's getting out of his barn clothes, and we fade to black. All right. That's the episode. Matt, you are up first. What do you think of this episode?
Fuck, man. So I was laughing half the time listening and also looking at my own note sheet and not making sense of it. So it cracked me up just as much as I'm making notes along. This episode was so funny. I don't even know where to begin. So I'll call out a couple of things immediately. The Darren Rose thing, which you called out, I had to do a double take and look him up myself. At first I had a brief moment like, is that Jason Sudeikis?
I know.
And then I'm like, okay, it must be a brother or a cousin. He has to be related. He's not, but it tripped me out because I
had the same thought.
Oh my God. I was so just like
on Twitter, Darren himself has said before, because somebody compared him to a Portuguese soccer player. I forget the soccer player's name. He's like, wow, this is the first time I've been compared to anyone other than Jason Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis. Yeah. It was, I honestly was like, he has to be his brother. It was so tripped me out. Welcome back, Glenn. Was what a return. Holy shit. This was the perfect return for him. Everything about him in this was brilliant. The dress and the skirt and the he made his presence so known in the right places at the right moments. And I didn't even catch the phone ringing thing, but I have to go back and rewatch that because I think you're spot on. It's probably in making that experience like he's sitting at the door waiting for it.
Yeah.
And that was great. One of my favorite scenes actually in the whole episode was Wayne and Dary sitting out by the produce stand.
Yeah.
And the physical humor in that scene was great. It was a long scene.
Yeah.
It was a slow scene, not a lot of dialogue, but the only thing I think that was missing from that entire encounter was when he scooched over to start the whole thing. I wish he let it with Tween Us Girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I was so hoping he was going to Tween Us Girls.
Yeah.
Tween Us Girls.
Well, it reminds me of that scene when they talk
call
about
back to that.
throwing hip, right? Have you thrown so much hip in your life? It's the same kind of scene where it's just the two of them.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like I actually expected it to happen and then didn't happen. I still love the scene. I thought it was brilliant. Their physical humor was so good. The whole subject matter of the episode was an interesting one. And the other big note I make, 'cause I'm sure everyone's got their own notes. I think they picked the perfect 4 guys to lead the scene. Like it wouldn't have worked with Riley and Jones. They're too young.
Right.
Wouldn't have worked with the Skids. I feel like, I don't know their age, but I feel like they're young as well. I think they could have thrown off the balance. I think Tyson was a curveball, but worked really well in this whole dynamic.
Tyson was great. And I loved him.
He was
in this
good.
episode.
He was fantastic.
He was so good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Coach, I think the 4 that they used to sell this story was perfect for what they were trying to do. So I really appreciated that. And what we also got to see in this was, and this must be Butchery's doing, there was some very different camera angles that we're not used to. So even like there was a shot when they first arrive and it's kind of over Wayne's shoulder looking down at Glenn over the counter. That's not traditional Letterkenny, right? It threw me off. And even the beyond that, we got a lot of solo interaction. So Dary and the doctor and Tyson the doctor. Tyson never gets his own solo scene. So I like to see that. So they played a bit in this one, which I really noticed and took note of. It was just so fucking funny. Them sitting there, I could watch that all day. And then Tanis, I didn't see that coming. When she arrived, and that whole pap smear thing, I kind of know what a pap smear was. I've had it told to me before. Her in-depth retelling of the tale.
Scrape.
I envisioned every bit of it, and I get what they're doing, and it was so well done. I mean, this is a big, huge stance on men's health. Yeah. And I know that's a big topic out there in a lot of places. Doesn't always get the attention it needs. This is absolutely, I mean, it's no surprise. This is exactly what this is about. Is supporting men's health, doing what you need to do to stay healthy, make sure you're getting the proper checks and balances done. I thought it was brilliant. I think that whole scene with Tanis was so necessary to drive home their message of get over it.
Yeah.
It's not that big a fucking deal. Suck it up, princess, get it done. Like I thought it was brilliant. So I thought this was a really strong episode that I laughed from start to finish.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this one's for the ages. This one is, this episode specifically out of season 10 is getting a lot of ink, even like in articles and stuff of how important it is. And I don't disagree. Tanis or Tia Horn is getting a lot of praise for her role in this episode. Again, I don't disagree. I think I know last week my whole COVID theory, it was a stretch. I get it. It was a stretch. It was just Victor's laughing.
Spawned a lot of discussion.
Yeah, it spawned a lot, but it was a stretch, and I get it. I understand because I was reaching for something for meaning that maybe wasn't there. There's no
reaching,
hiding for like. There's no denying what this is about. I feel like I don't know how old Jared Kiso is. I'm going to say he may be in his late 30s, early 40s. I don't know. So he's right in that age. I bet you this whole episode is a result of, him going in for a checkup and having to what?
This is for Ryan. I think Ryan was aghast at your age prediction of
Jared Kiso. I don't know.
Well, he's 30 and he's 37.
There you go. So late 30s. I was right.
You put him in the 40s. Nobody wants to be in the 40s when they're still in their 30s.
Okay, fine. So he's late 30s. But I mean, I've had the oil checked since my early 30s. So I agree that it's important to do.
We're not talking about recreational. We're talking about
recreational.
Fuck you, Victor.
Oh, snap.
Anyway, prostate cancer runs in my family, and as a result, I got checked earlier probably than most people start getting checked.
Fucking funny.
It's no big deal. So I appreciate this episode, and I think the message is clear, and it's an important one, and the juxtaposition of it with what women have to go through, which I'm sure Tanya will touch on, starting at a much, much, much younger age than men. I think, and the writing in this episode is amazing, and the physical. Matt, you pointed it out. You called it out. The physical comedy in this, amazing. I want to say one thing because this episode spawned, because of the physical comedy, this episode spawned a lot of gifts this afternoon. I went on, I made a lot of gifts, and the one
you're loving this, eh?
Well, the one gif I made of the 4 reaction shots, I only know this because I made that gif. Those 4 scenes are exactly 10 seconds to the frame in length. Each and every single one of them, which is tough to do by accident. So, it was a purposeful thing, and not to say that what they shot wasn't longer, but what that means is likely in when they're shooting that scene, you probably have Jacob Tierney in the background going on 3, 2, 1, cue the finger so that everyone reacts at the same time. If you think about that, right? Because it had to happen at the same time. And then they caught those reactions, each and every one of them. Amazing. And just so good. And again, I can't, who knew? We're 10 seasons in, and I thought that my top 5 was solid, and there's no way anything could reach into it. This one here has potential. Victor.
You're gonna get the reach around on that one. So you know what? It started the cold open was just okay. It was fine. And when the show starts, it's just pure gold from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so funny, so good. When you're not laughing, you're on the edge of your seat.
Right.
You were engaged the whole episode, and I don't know. It was just so and even kind of the ridiculous parts of it with Tanis and Shania. What the fuck were they doing there?
Right. And they were so quiet.
They just show up. They weren't there to see this doctor. I can't imagine this doctor's going up their midst.
Right.
That's awful to think. Hopefully he wasn't using Dary's tonsil
depressor, tongue depressor. Yeah,
depressor has nothing to do with that.
But yeah, or maybe there's only that one stick that he uses for everything.
Yeah.
And then they just leave. Why were you there in the first place? It's just so funny.
Well, and the funny thing about that scene as well, Victor, the doctor came out and called them in. So we don't know where he is, but if he hasn't moved, he's witnessing the entire demonstration as well, right?
That's right. Well, yeah, he's not there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is just there's so much hilarity. And then at the end, when they decide to go into the office, it's like they're going together. Like, hey, why are you guys going together?
Right.
What's going on here?
It's a solidarity thing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It reminded me of like the Porky's, the movie, where kind of the 3 or 4 of them went to see the hooker, and they're sitting in the waiting room, and I don't know, like it's probably a deep cut for most people that have no idea what I'm talking about, but it was so funny, like everything. And then at the end, I'm not sure that you guys probably caught it, but when Coach was talking about when everyone's getting their mojo back, and Coach, he went back to Barb because he made a reference to Barb. What was it? Rhubarb.
Rhubarb. Oh, well,
Rhubarb. Yeah. So Barb came back. He lost the gym and he brought back Barb. So I think that piece is over. But yeah, it was so good.
Coach lost a lot of. I mean, Mark Forward lost a lot of fucking weight. Holy crap! Makes you want. I mean, he wouldn't have done it for this role. I don't. I know that Jared Keeso challenged Tyler Johnston to bulk up. For that one season, remember? Like,
maybe Diamond Dallas Page gave him a call.
Maybe, yeah, because he looked much thinner. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's
completely
a reference to our friend Brian from last week.
Yes. Cool. Was that all you had there?
Yes.
All right, Tanya. What do you have?
So much.
She holds up her book.
So much. Holy loaded. It was just a loaded episode, just from beginning to end. Oh my gosh. And so many great one-liners, like going way back to when Katie and Wayne were in the barn, and Wayne saying, maybe you should be checked by the doctor for being allergic to clothes, and Katie responding to Wayne's repetitive song and dance saying, okay, Katie, okay. Yeah. Like, it was just all those little idiosyncrasies that, they nail every single one of them. For a minute there, I thought when Dary and Wayne were at the produce stand, it almost appeared like Dary was kind of sitting gingerly, like he had already had.
He made it look like he had, because when he sat down carefully. So I was like, oh, he already had it done.
Yeah. And it was kind of like, okay, well, did he, like, is he winding up for it to be that, I confessed to my friend, like I've had this done, and like, whatever. So, but I loved how, like, the smallest little detail of Wayne crossing his legs while they were talking, and just kind of like that uncomfortable kind of like, you're talking about my privates. Like, it was just comical. And I think it's so true that they picked the right 4 guys, like Coach, Tyson, Wayne, and Dary. It wouldn't have worked with Squirrely Dan. He's already had fingers up the bum. Like, that wouldn't have been something that would have brought on more laughter, because he would have just been like, yeah, it's no big deal. And there's like, he would have gone kind of off on the whole G-spot thing, probably. Tanis and Shania, oh my gosh, like, so love every minute of what Tanis did. I love everything she said. We had made up names, my girlfriends and I. We wouldn't call it by the surgical name of Spectrum or whatever the hell it was called. Speculum. Not the sternum then, right? Okay, so speculum.
We've all been paying attention.
Right. We called it the duck bill, because it looks like a duck bill. It quacks like a duck bill. It looks like a duck bill, and absolutely they did not warm that shit up before putting it in you. And it was metal at the beginning, and I remember very, very clearly, and I'm aging myself here, I remember very clearly the first round and that shit being as cold as ice, and the only part that Tanis missed was that they don't just insert it, but they also pop that thing open. Like the duck bill opens up so that it's it's like a tunnel, a train, if you will, Victor, into the cervix area for the doctor to then stick his, like, I swear they put like that light on their forehead and they get right. And I loved Tanis saying, and it's not aggressively welcome. Like, and then the whole scooch, it's so fucking on point. It's not even, it's so funny because the whole scooch thing, that is exactly what you hear. They're like, yeah, a little bit closer, yeah, a little bit closer. It's hilarious. It's gold. It's gold from open to close, and everything Tanis said. I loved it. I have to insert here, no pun intended.
Hello.
That we were listening to this whole episode with our son.
That's right. Remember, there's a 15-year-old watching this with us.
And so we're very open with the kids. We're very open with him. The running joke in our house is that he shares the big head syndrome that my husband's side of the family, they don't even they have no hats that fit their head. Like, so he has the same head, and that he knows salad tongs were involved in the delivery of him, because there's just, he broke me. He knows that, and he laughs at it because that's the kind of family we are. We just laugh about things.
His therapy bills will pile up.
but it was so anyways, he's sitting in the chair and he turns around and I'm like, okay, so Mitt, let me teach you something. Mitt means vagina. I'm like,
which Tanya learned only about.
I only learned.
I was going to say, yeah, which mom just learned herself. Yes.
It's like, let me teach you.
So you woman-splained him.
I woman-splained him. And so he knows, because again, as Alan's reference, he has prostate cancer on his side of the family. And so I've made it perfectly clear that absolutely this will be in your future, as it is with any man. But this is something that you're going to have to put up with and deal with. But on that note, I have to share, and I hope Alan's not going to be mad. So I had this
feel like I might be. Can I borrow somebody's blue spatula?
I had this conversation with Al's mom when his dad was going through the prostate cancer. Oh, yeah. And I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm on the phone with her, and we're going through the treatments and the procedures and what needs to be done and options and stuff. And one of the options of surgery, and then what the complications could be of all the different stuff. And so one of the complications, of course, for one of the treatments was impotency.
Impotence, yeah.
Being impotent. And so I'm talking to her, and just like I would talk to anyone, saying, that would be really hard very, very difficult, very difficult for a man to, like, that would be really. And so anyways, Alan's sitting there beside me, shaking his head, saying, please, God, stop talking to my mother about my dad's dick and whether it can go up or not. He's like, just stop talking. Anyways, that's it. We're just all kinds of open. We're just.
I feel like I'm getting some empathy from you guys, please.
Anyways, all the shit that women have to go through, man. Oh my God. Boobs in a vice grip. Like, can you imagine having your nuts in a vice grip and squished to get an image of them? Like, it's a finger up the bum. Suck it up. We have so many things that we go through, and the little finger up the bum. I was in the healthcare field at one point in my life, and I've had to stick my finger up many a bum, like giving them suppositories and helping people out. And, actually, I think it was Dr. Ruth. This is a very, very far flashback, that even was saying, this was one of my favorite prostate flashbacks, that if a prostate gets, and I don't know the truth to it, somebody will have to look it up. Matt, you can look it up. That if the prostate gets really inflamed, the best way is to massage it. And a good technique is to use a dildo, actually, to vibrate and massage it. And to get, I think that's the truth, but it would have to be looked up. But it's like,
as told by Dr. Ruth.
As
Dr.
told by
Ruth
Dr.
Vestager.
Ruth Vesta. Yeah. Anyways, it was I loved the episode. Loved it. Laughed.
Was Dr. Ruth a thing down in the States, Ryan? Do you remember Dr. Ruth? No?
No, I don't remember that.
That wasn't a thing? Sunday night, Dr. Ruth.
I don't know.
Dr.
I thought she was North America.
I thought she was.
No. This is way before Dr. Phil.
Maybe you're just too young. Maybe we need to ask somebody older if that's a thing.
Yeah, Dr. Ruth was a little old German lady.
Oh, I remember her.
She was prime time in the mid '80s, and even in the '90s, she was already old.
I'm not talking about Sex with Sue, because there was Sex with Sue.
Maybe it was Sex with Sue too.
Sex with Sue was another.
Canadian,
but Dr. Ruth, I believe,
we don't have anyone like that now, eh?
Sex with
No, they do.
Sue Johan, or well,
is there?
I don't know.
Our son was just getting, in his religion class, he was getting contraception.
You're sending him to the wrong place.
Oh,
for sexual
man. I'm like, dude, when you're finished with that
that's
class,
why we bring him home and we sit him in front of the TV to watch Letterkenny. Come on.
I'm like, dude, you need to learn the real.
You need to learn from
real life stuff.
Wayne and the Hicks on anyway, and Tanis. Did you have anything else?
Oh, so much, but I got to stop somewhere.
There's more time here for ratings. Ryan, what do you have to say about that? You're practically a doctor, right? I mean, you're a pharmacist. I mean, so what do you have to say about this?
We're doctor of pharmacy. So,
yeah, you're doctor adjacent.
So I felt like there were a lot of things that gave me callbacks or vibes, reminiscent pieces of previous episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So whether it was even things like Wayne kind of saying like Bonnie, he said, if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late.
Oh yeah. Yes. True. That's right. Yeah.
And then the way he walked around, the squinting, the drunk stuff at the beginning. So there was a lot of that I thought was kind of neat to see.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I write here?
Yeah, and then Matt mentioned that scene at the produce stand that was kind of reminiscent of when they were talking about throwing hip. Same thing. It was just the Between Us Girls. Yeah.
Between Us Girls.
Yeah.
The KDOK.
Mm-hmm.
I thought was funny because right after last episode too, where in the Dicks episode where they were kind of calling out Noah on things that oh yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah.
I was like, they kind of called that out. They were like, Katie knew exactly where he was going with that.
Yeah.
But then also his response to that, the way that he said, maybe you ought to see if he's got time for you too.
Oh yeah.
She's allergic to clothing. Yeah.
Well, you've been allergic to clothes your whole life. The way that he said that, I just heard Shorzy there.
Yeah, because his voice kind of cracked a bit, right? Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yeah. Also kind of picked up on with the stuff with Coach. Yeah, he lost a bunch of weight, but then also we kind of saw they called him his name on the papers is Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, they did, didn't they?
The doctor was confused for a second.
It says Coach.
It says
as well.
Coach.
Coach?
And then Glenn was kind of nudging, but just go with it. Yeah, it's Coach. Yeah. Well, we don't know the doctor's name either, right? So.
Yeah.
Well, it's Darren or Jim.
He's doctor. I think they did miss a little bit of opportunity with Coach though. Like he keeps talking about gym stuff and lifting a barbell, and they didn't do anything with barbells.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Well, but he did the what was it at the end there, Victor?
The rhubarb.
The rhubarb, yes.
Rhubarb. I think the only debate there is that he's replaced Barb with Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But Brad Barb back in the last scene.
Yes.
Yeah. It's funny
I
though.
love the scene with Wayne and Katie talking about tattling. And how he looks down when Katie calls him out about tattling.
Well, so I mean, he's the older brother, but a few times in this episode, he acts like a child, and she acts like the parent, right? So it's especially in that scene you're talking about. It's very apparent he's very much the child in that scene.
Yeah, it's all about love. It's all with love, but yeah absolutely.
And it came further when he goes back and he talks to Glenn, and like Dary's excuse was the same as what he already had. Wayne's excuse was the spin class Monday, Wednesday, and twice on Friday.
It's all, he had that one planned out. Yeah.
I want to know where he's going for the spin class in a small town too.
Well, he's not going to the gym, or else
that could be an episode all itself.
Coach would see him. Yeah. Well, maybe Wayne's got a Peloton in the barn.
Hey, that could be an interesting one.
Yeah. Very cool.
And then everything with Tanis, just
everything.
That entire scene, I lost it on it. The salad tongues piece, the Wayne right after that, the holy fuck. the Tanis yelling more.
Yeah. And I love that they had Shania there too. She did a lot more speaking in this episode than she's had in the past as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Glenn's take on that whole when he comes and joins the whole situation, that just puts it over the top.
Speculum was my nickname in high school.
Speculum.
And she called out scraping yogurt from inside a cup.
Oh my God!
I saw that as a callback too. Yeah, because that's what Dary would do that all the time.
That's it's so on point.
Oh man. So graphic though too, very very descriptive.
And then the at the end there with I loved the Dary's ending. I'm getting out of my barn clothes, and that song at the end.
Yes, it was great.
Yeah, the song was good.
I loved this episode.
Yeah. So I mean, let's move on to ratings. And are you done, Ryan?
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll move on to ratings. Matt, what do you give this one?
I'm not going to. It is 100% a fresh. Like this was this one. I was worried this one could be. I mean, I assumed it would be funny, but I was worried what they're going to do with it, and they met every expectation I could have had. I loved it, and the only thing I'll quickly mention is I don't think we talked enough about the doctor. We've made side comments about him, but he was brilliant in this in himself. In how he called them out, his missing the glove, the every little action he did added to the whole discomfort of the situation and your lack of confidence in this guy doing all
he
of
picks
this.
up a glove off the ground, blows on it, says it's clean.
It was so good. And I don't think that gets enough credit. I need to call that out because he was so good.
Not tapping his teeth with the tongue depressor that was just down Dary's throat.
Well, and it's funny because if you think of that episode without him all that, it would have still been hilarious.
Yeah, it would have been great. Yeah.
But to have a presumably incompetent doctor on top of it in this awkward he put the ice, it was the icing on the cake, and I thought it was brilliant. It's one of the easiest freshes I've given.
Yes.
So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I hope the doctor comes back. I mean, I think last season I made a prediction because when we saw the trailer that was a doctor character, I kind of predicted that maybe that could be a future love interest for Katie. I really hope they bring him back, and that would be an interesting storyline if that could happen. But anyway, even if that's not the storyline they bring him back for, I hope he becomes a recurring character. Because he was really, really great and brilliantly incompetent, but funny. Let's just take another moment of silence here for Katie in that yellow bikini.
Really?
Yes. All right.
It wasn't.
Man. This.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, this is 100% a fresh. Like you said, Matt, I can't remember the last time. I mean, it's happened in the past, obviously, but I can't remember the last time it was this easy to say that this episode was fresh. Victor?
Fresh.
That's it.
I mean, let's not bury the lead here. It's a fresh. Yeah. It's it's the easiest fresh. It was so good. There were so many great performances. When I was initially talking about, I never even talked about Glenn.
Oh, right.
You know, his performance in here was reminiscent of the dating episode, where he would just show up in all the different places.
Yeah, relationships.
Relationships. Yeah, where he would show up. You know, he was the ice cream guy. Like it was. This was reminiscent of that, where yes, he was the nurse, or the secretary and nurse, but he would just show up, right?
Yeah.
He just showed up, like at the perfect time, just when you needed him, he would show up, and it was so good. Yes, again, going back to the Tanis scene, it was just brilliant. Like everything about this episode was so fun, and. There's just nothing else you can say. It's fresh.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is it's missing Squirrely Dan, but I guess there's no way he could have fit into this because he's
the anti. He would have been the anti-hero here because this is all like, hey guys, what the hell is your problem?
Yeah,
he'd be like a Mo. He'd take their heads and bop them together and stick his own two fingers up their butthole.
Yeah, for sure. But he was very conspicuous by his absence for sure.
Yeah.
Imagine him calling people out like in one of his outbursts or that. Like, get your butt in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I don't know who said it, but I think he almost would have felt less relevant in this one because of the whole attention's paid episode. Right? That whole scene, he had his moment. Now they've given the rest their moment. So I think that's the one thing I'd say to that.
Excellent. Okay, Tanya, it's to you.
Matt, Victor, you just touched on the exact same 2 points that I've circled here. Glenn, Glenn and the doctor, absolutely. We didn't talk enough about them. Glenn looking over his shoulder at Wayne. Oh my God. Like he was comical. It was so great to see him again. And the constant like knock, 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 need a hand in there, doctor, or a finger. And it was just, he was there at every moment to offer, some assistance, even with the girls. It was hilarious. And the doctor, oh my God, absolutely, Matt, blowing on the glove and that's
and
the way
tub of Vaseline.
And the tub of Vaseline and wiping it on his sweater, like his hand, like, let me just disinfect. Like it was just gross, incompetent, but funny as hell. Like it was just super, it was fantastic. I have another, there's just too much fun.
Too much fun.
I have to share, and I have to say it's a fresh, but I also have to share that.
Wondrous.
Oh my. Okay, I won't share it yet.
Oh my God. Wait.
We need to change the background. Ryan, you get to see the unicorn background.
I regret nothing.
110%, man. It was a fresh, great episode. Did not disappoint. I've been looking forward to this. Tanis stole the show. I loved everything about it. I have to share one more story. I had a moment in my life where I had to visit an on-call doctor for a rather personal issue that I was having, and the pap smear needed to be done, and was done. And then later, I went to my boyfriend's house. This is back in high school. I went to my boyfriend's house, and his parents were having a dinner party. Was invited for the dinner, and it just so happened that my boyfriend's mother was a receptionist for a doctor. And it just so happened that the doctor was the man that I had visited that day. And as a teenager, like as an older woman, you're like, yeah, whatever, like babies, everything's happened already. Like, no embarrassment anymore. But as a teenager, it was the most like horrifying moment. And it was just such a, anyways, again, the stuff that Tanis said, oh my God, so brilliant. And I loved it. Anyways.
All right. Well, there you go. I think this is a third unicorn for season 10. So not bad. Ryan, the pressure's off. What do you give this episode?
I was already far into the fresh category before this started.
Easy.
I absolutely loved it. It cracked me up pretty much the entire way through. And It was actually one of the longest episodes too. I noticed.
Yeah, it was long.
It took a while to get through, but
when they were talking about, Jerry Kiesel had because of the pandemic, had like what is it, a year or whatever to write these episodes and these seasons and stuff. I feel like a lot of it went into this one episode. Not to say some of the others weren't good too, but this one here for sure. Do
you think who wrote the? Wonder. I would be curious to know. Sorry to cut you off. Who wrote the pap smear part?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to look that one up.
Do you think they leveraged Tanis to help out with that? Or
she's a new mom and stuff. Who knows? Yeah. That's
she was brilliant.
I don't know if they have a female writer on staff that maybe helps with those as well. So
Scooch.
Yeah, because there's a lot of specific things that I wouldn't have thought, given the word scooch a second thought, but apparently it's something that you hear a lot during a pap smear.
And it's just the breeze blowing. Just
yeah. I loved though the way that Glenn jumped into things in the middle of that.
Yeah.
that scene alone was pretty much what got it for me, I think. Even just during this replaying sound clips of it, I was
I'm trying to think if there's another Letterkenny scene that if you showed it to an audience that have never seen Letterkenny, where they'd be like, whoa, they went there and that would be as impressive as that scene. You know what I mean? Like, I can't think of one. There's a lot of like fights and dick jokes and fart jokes and stuff like that. And that's fun and stuff. But in terms of like showing a non-Letterkenny fan, this is why this show can be great.
Yeah.
And show this scene and to anyone. Like, I don't know. It just seems, I can't think of another Letterkenny scene that would be like that.
Like, I feel like they should be showing that scene to like, I don't know what year they're teaching this shit in school anymore, but it should be shown in schools.
Yeah.
In a way, like, here's what's happens and here's a description of what's going to go down, and it's fun and hilarious and real. So yeah. Well,
our 15-year-old ninth grader, he's seen it now. So maybe he's got a leg up on his classmates. Who knows? All right. Let's move on to top fives. Matt, does this make your top five?
It does. I can't not. And I'm struggling, but I'm going to be honest. Here's what's going to happen. It's moving up to number 2, and it's pushing the rest down.
All right. So
it's easy. It's easy. I almost put it at 1. But I've got a secret love with Les Heeks, so I'm gonna leave that there. But fuck, it was good. Thank you, Letterkenny.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you. It's my number 2. So my number 1's relationships, and so these two are neck and neck. And the only reason relationships wins out is because the cold open for relationships is attention's paid.
Good call.
That's a powerhouse fucking episode. First of all, relationships itself is a brilliantly written episode. Lots of great humor in there. Victor mentioned it. Like Glenn was amazing in it. The 3 dates and all that stuff. And so that alone would put it kind of on neck and neck with this one. But this one's cold open was very just normal, just very average. Attention's paid is the number 1 cold open. Like there's no, to me, and I'd like to say here, somebody try to debate me with this one. There's nothing that comes close.
No.
So relationships stays at number 1, but this one's definitely strong number 2 for me. Victor?
Yeah, I'm going to slide mine into number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. The dick slip out still number 1. You love your dick episodes because dicks and then holy sheet and now prostate. There's a theme there.
There is. It's important to be consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And I didn't ask you. This is your opportunity to say, is dick meat on your top 5 or no?
No, it's not.
It was a low.
Again, it was a good episode. I gave it a fresh.
Yeah,
but it's not a top 5.
Okay, so number 3. That's great. Tan?
Yeah, I'm gonna knock Valentine's Day off.
Okay, so you're keeping Holy Sheep, but just Valentine's Day is coming off.
Yes.
So it's going to become your number 4.
Only because that's where Valentine's Day was.
Okay.
It was great. It was great. There was nothing wrong with it was perfect.
All right. That's amazing. And who would have thought? We're in season 10 and we're still getting episodes that are challenging our top 5. It's great.
But you make a good point there. I'm absolutely loving this season so far because it feels like OG Letterkenny.
Yeah.
But they're just killing it. Like
Next level.
it's
That's
so
next level.
hard.
It feels like OG, but actually, because last night we
elevated.
we watched this one, and then we watched Super Soft, and I'm like, man, the quality is actually it's
OG, the next generation.
Yeah, it is for sure.
And it's so hard to do for shows. Like 95% of shows that go this long lose their credibility at some point. And I feel like we talked about it. They had a dip in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe they listened. Maybe they're paying attention to fans. Maybe they just refound themselves. I don't know.
Right.
But they're back and it's fucking brilliant.
Okay. Ryan, do you have a top 5 you'd like to share with us?
I do.
All right.
I had to make it right before. So this I did slide in there too. So I put Lacey still as number 1.
Attaboy.
Plus the golf course was number 2 because all those the Canadian gooses. And then I put this is number 3.
Okay.
4 was Letterkenny versus Penny.
Oh, interesting.
And then 5 was the Letterkenny spelling bee.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Can't argue with those.
No. Great choices.
Solid list.
Very good. Spelling bee. I need to learn how to spell. All right.
Spoke bee off my list.
Oh, really? There you go. MVPs. Matt. Okay, Tanya, you got your MVP? Just want to make sure before I ask Matt.
She's got a little time.
Every time.
Can I pick 2?
No.
Well, MVPs.
Come on now. What now?
No. And with MVPs, we've been lenient. If you want to pick 2, go ahead.
So it's
MVPs.
I'm gonna do 2.
Okay.
It's Glenn and it's Tanis.
It's sorry.
I missed. It's Glenn and it's Tanis.
You can't do that. Just changing the rules.
Every relationship is 51-49. You gotta.
Well, then if we're giving the bump, it's Tanis.
Tanis is an MVP. All right.
But it's Glenn as well. His welcome back, and they used him so brilliantly. Everything about his interaction and how he I wanted more of him, but it was perfect. I feel like they give him more, we would have been upset. And I was happy. And then Tanis, that whole demonstration, it was uncomfortable and graphic and brilliant and brave and real. And I don't know, it's up there with like the Katie Cold Open where you just delivered something so genuine, whether you like it or not. On the subject matter, it is what it is. And you can't deny the truth of it. So I have to give it to her.
Excellent. All right. Couple of runner-ups for me. I'm going to give kudos to Tyson. For well learned. Hemorrhoids. It's not a comfortable subject matter. And he just strutting around going, yeah, I got him. I got the hemorrhoids. I got him from, and just for giving the funniest face of the 4 reaction shots. His was the funniest shot. So, kudos to him. Glenn, obviously amazing runner up. But yeah, this is Tanis. This is all Tanis's episode. Even it's funny, it's her episode, but she's only in it for the last 2 minutes. But she makes the absolute most of those 2 minutes. So definitely Tanis for me. Victor?
Oh my God, everyone, right? I mean, everyone's a runner-up because there are so many good performances. I mean, for sure, Katie's bathing suit is a runner-up. Competing for number 1.
Oh man.
But Glenn, of course. But I'm going to give it a Coach because. Before I go to Coach, so Tanis, not only was she great in her scene, but I think she's also was the motivator for Dary there at the end, because she said she stopped what could have been a very interesting kind of cosplay scene for Dary, and she stopped because of his barn clothes. And and then later he's stood up and said, "That's it, I'm shedding the barn clothes." So maybe she was a bit of a catalyst for that. But for Coach, I mean, not only was he great, but we have to congratulate him on losing all that weight. So there's
a lot of work there. Yeah,
it's a lot of work, and also the thing about actors that are a little bit heavy set, when they lose their weight, sometimes they lose the fun factor.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And he did, and he found a way to still kind of bring it with his character, and
his physical comedy, like he's like stretching and he's flexing and he's kind of the way he's sitting and stuff.
He recreated himself in his new weight, and it worked. And it's just for that recreation, and I'm going to give him the MVP for that.
Oh, awesome. Okay, and Tan?
It's my girl Tanis for sure. She's fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. I laughed, I reminisced, and she's amazing. I didn't say. I think Al, you touched on it. Them zooming in on the faces. I loved that part. I loved when the guys got the finger up the bum, and that zoom in.
There's something you don't hear,
right? I love that they zoomed in on their faces and gave that reaction.
Better than their assholes.
Yeah, like that. Like and there it is. There's the finger. Like I loved it. I thought that was a great added point, added feature.
Okay, Ryan.
Tanis, 100%. Yeah, she made the episode personally.
Absolutely.
Runner up still to both Glenn and Wayne. I hadn't thought about it at first. For such a long episode, a lot of them, they're switching from different things going on between different groups of people. This thing, like Wayne was actually in every single piece of it, and I felt he had like some sort of physical or some verbal something going on the entire time. So I definitely appreciated that. And Glenn, of course, just
he's such ridiculous. I mean, not only is he a nurse, he's like an old-fashioned nurse, like the way with
the bonnet,
the bonnet, and
the literally the first scene when they come in and he's going to check for the file, and he goes to the other room first. He's holding it, but then he's like, nope. Sets it back down, and he's like, "Oh, maybe it's over here."
But he's not even a nurse; he's a secretary. But he's dressed like a nurse.
Right. Yeah, it's even, I don't know.
And that crazy typing, it was just like,
oh, for sure. Awesome. Okay. The other thing I really liked about this episode is it was a great episode, but there was also some carrying the story forward. At the end, who does he pick? A Nick or Bonnie? And I mean, it's funny.
Bonnie.
Well, so we're going now to see the
and
future.
Nick got him going though when she came to the table.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So we're going to the see the future portion here now, Matt. But sorry, Ryan, have you seen forward? Have you seen past this episode?
I've actually been watching each week as you guys do it.
Oh, okay. All right. So you'll be able to
this week. As soon as we finish this, I'll go watch the next one.
Awesome. Okay, so you'll be able to participate then. Matt,
I love it.
What do you want to see in the future here? And also, like part 1 and then part 2, is it a Nick or Bonnie?
So, I mean, the obvious we keep saying is I'm excited for the big Shorzy reveal. I'm sure it's coming. It's Bonnie. I'm totally expecting. They're giving these hints like, oh, it's a Nick, but I want him to put her in her. I think he's going to balls up and put her in his place or put her in her place.
What about Dary? Do you think he well, I don't know if he thinks he has a chance with a Nick.
No, with Bonnie. I don't think he thinks it, but I think he's going to balls up and put a Nick in her place for what went down. And then go and choose Bonnie is what I'm predicting. That's the scenario that's going to play out. That's what I want to play out. I think they're the cute as fuck, and I want to see it happen. So I think Dary needs a win, and I think it's going to be Bonnie.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree in terms of looking forward to the Shorzy reveal. And like I said in my review, I'd love to see more of the Doctor. I mean, obviously probably not this season, but if they bring him back, for an episode a season like they've done with the Dicks, I'd be really happy with that. And so I think you're right, Matt. I agree with you. They're setting up. They're setting up a straw man or whatever that it's called, where making us think that he's interested in a Nick. But I think ultimately it'll be Bonnie. So we'll see if that happens this season, or if they pull Letterkenny and they drop it all together and we don't see anything until next season. But either way, that's what I want to see. Victor?
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with Matt very often, but when I do, it's over Bonnie McCrae.
Doesn't it feel nice though, Victor? Take it in, buddy.
Yeah. And I also agree that I'm looking forward to the big Shorzy reveal as well, because we need that introduction at some point, and so kind of really looking forward to that as well.
Okay, and 10.
How many episodes are we in to the end?
This is number 4, right? So there's 2 more.
Two more. That's it, eh?
Left, yeah.
And then we get the Shorzy reveal.
Yeah.
Wowza. What are we talking about?
What do you want to see in the future?
See in the future. Okay, here we go. My apologies. That was like, I blanked out on that.
Double blue spatula. Look at that. Double blue spatula.
I know. It was a blank. I looked at, because I was looking at you guys, and then I broke, and I broke screen, and I looked at Al. Anyways, okay. I can't wait. I want to see Dary out of his barn clothes. I would love to see
completely out of his barn clothes.
No. We're not going into the naked territory.
I hope he flosses too then.
I would love to, because that's never happened. We've been like 10 seasons and it's always the same.
He's St.
He's rocked the plaid a couple times.
Yeah, he's rocked
the wedding
Has he?
episode too.
The wedding.
Suit.
Yeah, he wore the Simpsons
What about the
suit.
Valentine's episode?
Right.
Did he go in the barn clothes to the Valentine's episode?
No, he gets out of his barn clothes every once in a while. He does.
Does he?
Yeah, he
I
does.
don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyways, I would love to see him break out of the barn clothes, and the girls, as you guys have both girls go after him, and him shut Anik down and go for
we'll
Bonnie.
Get to see if
that would
Dary
be great.
has any game. Like, what kind of moves does he have?
Well, I don't think he has many, but I think it would still be good. I think Katie would definitely be the wingman and be on the side, giving him pointers and helping him out through it.
Oh, you make a good point. There's no way in hell Katie lets him pick a Nick. Katie will kick his ass if he tries.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, what do you want to see?
I think he's honestly going to try and pick a Nick.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should be with Bonnie still, but I think he's going to go for a Nick.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, because they always, come back to don't fuck it up, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have a feeling he's gonna, because it's how it seems to usually go. And it seems like he's kind of keeps looking at her, but she doesn't tend to, I feel like,
reciprocate.
Much in that same, she's not reciprocating that. Yeah. So
that will be the last one, right? Where she's going after him or he's going after her, and they'll close on it.
I think that'll be like the cliffhanger for this season.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see.
They're going to have a good bit more Tyson and Joint Boy too, because at least from that video at the beginning, or the whatever it was, the
trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was more stuff with Tyson and Joint Boy, which I've kind of been glad to see that they involved them a bit more in the season again. Yeah. They were in a lot more earlier on, and then they kind of they weren't there as much the last few seasons.
Well, Tyson especially, he was a lot of fun in this episode for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, we're gonna move. So I'm gonna put out a Tanya's Twitter poll this week, and it's gonna be who had the best reaction, because that'll be a good poll there. So between Tyson, Wayne, Coach, and who am I missing? And Dary. So between the five of us here, Matt, who was the funniest reaction or the best reaction?
Oh man, I got to go back and see it. By the way, that GIF you created is fucking that's GIF of the year right there. I'm just
GIF.
No, it's GIF. It's GIF.
It's not peanut butter. Okay.
Jiffy?
So while you think about it, my favorite, I thought Tyson's reaction was the funniest reaction. Although Coach was a clear second, like his reaction, because he was already wincing, and then when it happened, his wince kind of turned into kind of a crazed look. I don't know. I can't explain it. Victor?
Yeah. For that reason, for me, Coach is the funniest.
Yeah.
Because he was already in that state.
Yeah.
And then he went to an elevated state.
Yeah, he did.
So
he did.
So for me, that one really stands out.
Tan, do you remember the reactions? I need to bring it up for you.
It's in there, and then it touched his G-spot.
That's right. Yeah. Let me try to bring up
And then it touched his G-spot.
Okay, Matt, which one did you?
It's Coach for sure. You
Coach?
kidding me?
Yeah. Oh, I can't bring it up right now.
Exactly the way Victor described it.
What do you think, Ryan?
I'm thinking either Coach or Wayne at the moment. Mine doesn't want to load either.
Yeah. I should have given you guys a heads up, but I can't find it now.
Oh my God, Matt! Listening to you laugh, it just reminds me.
God,
our son is a laugher, just like you. And oh my God, I was like, we need to watch every show with him. He laughs out loud, and I'm like, oh my God, this just makes it so much better. Even just that laughter. Oh my God, it's addictive.
You just gotta laugh.
Yeah.
You just gotta do it.
Which one? I'm showing Tanya the GIF right now.
Yeah. Coach.
Look at him.
Oh my God. It's
He's already expecting it.
Yeah. Like he starts off.
Yeah.
Let me.
Oh my! They must have had so much fun with that. You gotta wonder if they did
Coach
it like
starts already, and he's like, I don't know about this. And it's like,
I kind of expected one of them like Wayne to like tough it out and like only give like a minor reaction.
well, Wayne just looks constipated or something. Like,
but he's the fact that he still reacted. I loved. I was kind of waiting for like nothing to happen, like him to kind of twitch a little, and that's it.
And Dary just looked like he
squint more.
Dary looks like he just enjoyed it. I don't know. Like he had a kind of a crazed smile on his face.
Well, that was it. I thought someone was gonna like full on smile, like, hey.
Oh my God.
Man. All right. One last little bit of news. I just want to say happy birthday to our buddy and our Twitter DM buddy, Jason Eichard. Tomorrow's his birthday. He was all upset when Matt moved the episode to tonight that he didn't get a birthday call out. So we're giving him a early birthday call out.
Yay, happy birthday.
Way to go, Matt.
Put it on me.
And my dad is against giving birthday wishes before your birthday because you might not make it.
Oh no, don't do that. All right.
Okay, now he's going to be listening to this tomorrow. It's not going to air until 12.
No,
so there is
let Jason listen to this until Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, back. Let's just do some fun.
Yeah,
we're running long here, and the after party awaits. So let's hear final comments from everyone. Matt, you start.
Oh, it's so much fucking fun. Ryan, great to meet you. You're kind of our mystery guest because, often we have an idea of who they're coming. Like, we were able to social media stalk people a little bit. You're kind of a ghost, but it was great. And you delivered, and thanks for coming out, man. This is so much fun. And this was such a great episode.
Yeah.
Victor, I'm so glad to see you back, buddy. I know you're dealing with a lot. We're thinking about you every day, man. Just know that our hearts are with you and your dad and your family. It's good days ahead. I have to believe that. And thanks everyone. This is just the best.
Yes, agreed. Ryan, great job tonight. Happy to have you on, and good to learn more about you. And you've joined us on socials before, so hopefully you keep on doing that. Hope you feel better too. You've got over the next few days that you heal up nicely.
You got the vid as well.
Yeah, he's got the vid as well.
I've muted a couple times and coughed off to the side.
I appreciate that. Victor, obviously, we wish nothing but the best for your dad, but amazing to have you back on. Whenever you or Matt aren't on, something's missing. So it's always good to have the gang all together. And so today felt much better. And it's funny because our guests, I feel like they feel robbed too when one of us isn't on. Like I know Brian was very disappointed you weren't on last week.
Yeah.
So
Ryan came with a spatula. He was like, "Where the fuck's Victor?"
Yeah.
And then you showed up. And he's like, "Yay! I get to show it off."
Yeah. So it's great to have you here, and hopefully this provided you some laughs and a good break from all the seriousness for this past week. Victor, you're up next.
Yeah, all that, and then it's like, okay, let's gloss over that one.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Too much fun. But really, it really is so much fun. Ryan, really nice to meet you. You were an awesome guest. I love your tungsten symbol in the background. And
tungsten?
Tungsten, the big W in the background.
Oh my God. It's probably for, whatever school he went to, not an
tungsten.
element.
Last name.
or your last, there his last name, Woodfield.
Okay. Well, with that, I mean, you go to what kind of works for you. And for me, that's a tungsten symbol. Anyway, really great.
You got to love the periodic table humor there.
well, yes.
I'm looking it up to prove this, but I'm sure he's right.
I wouldn't
question that shit anymore.
I'm guessing that it's a periodic table reference.
It's
I don't
for
know.
sure, W. I found it.
There you go.
Anyway, thank you. I guess you're my spatula brother from another mother, so you're welcome back anytime. Tanya, thank you for wearing the Star Trek uniform. I think it looks great on you.
Oh, jeez.
It's just unfortunate our listeners can't see it.
Shots fired, man. What the heck?
Hey, back off. She's my Deanna Troy.
That's okay. She comes with a speculum.
Oh.
But anyway, so thanks a lot. Great fun and a really nice distraction from real life. So thanks a lot, guys.
Excellent. 10.
Ryan, so good to have you. Thank you so much for coming out. It was a pleasure. I hope you feel better real soon. Always good laughing with you guys. Oh my gosh. Victor, missed you tons. Love you so much and to your family. And of course, we're constantly thinking of you guys. Thank you, just everyone. It's just always a blast. And this episode was just too much fun. It was just a laugh after laugh after laugh. And I'm so looking forward to just more.
All right. And Ryan.
So thanks, y'all. Glad I got to actually meet everybody all in one and had everyone here. I'm still waiting. I think my parents are actually, they keep asking about this because I mentioned it kind of just on the side a little bit at one point.
Oh, really?
We want to listen. And it's like, okay, so I got to think about what I say.
Oh, no. You had to censor yourself.
You should watch the episode with them, though, and then listen to the podcast.
Now, remember, we showed
back in Michigan.
We showed it to a 15-year-old, so your parents should be able to handle this.
I think my dad will love it. He's seen a few episodes of the show. He's on board.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, not so much.
Oh boy.
So, but it's been great to actually, get to see people, get to meet. And I'm honestly really glad this episode worked out too. It wasn't originally kind of on my radar, as just by the name of it, I wasn't expecting this type of episode from it. So
yeah,
I loved it. And one other comment I was just going to mention, Tanya, I noticed you kept like a straight face throughout almost the whole episode.
That's what she does.
Again, the part with Tanis.
That's what I do.
And
that's what I do.
Red, like everyone was red here. So I just thought that was great.
Awesome.
But
I'm very poker
y'all.
face. I keep it together.
She's laughing on the inside, waiting for our pay.
Yeah, if any dicks had slipped out during that scene, it would be a different story.
Yeah, my.
Anyway, I'm going to play us off here with a song from this episode. Actually, interesting note. 2 songs from this episode are songs by James Daly. Now that's important because James Daly plays Ron as in Dax and Ron, the blonde. The blonde. So he's a musician and actually a really good singer and guitarist.
The last song, is that by him?
I don't remember what the last song was.
That was a great outro song. Holy hell.
But there was one song that was played in the background in the medical clinic, and that's the one I'm going to play because I remember hearing it going, that's an interesting song. I wonder if they'll have it, and they do. And this is a James Daly song. So I'm going to play us off here. It's called You and Me Again by James Daly. Let me try that.
1, 2, 3, 4. I found myself around you, staring at the shape of us. We're making love, we're waking up okay, standing in the rain. Every day is a new day coming to save me. And look at you, I feel so light. I feel I might just up and fly away. Nothing more to say. I'm happy that you came. I hope you feel the same. Cause we've been down this road before. But you came along and I was still singing your song. Now I can see those brown eyes glisten in the sun. Honey, it looks like you and me might be you and me again.
All right.
And I don't want.
And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we recap and review episode 5 of season 10, Vic Vok, with our guest Jamie for his produce stand debut. Don't forget to give our sponsor Diabolical Coffee some love. They're at diabolicalcoffee.com. Right now, you can use a promo code Produce Stand for 10% off any purchase from their site. If you'd like to support this podcast, rate us on iTunes or become a patron. There's a Patreon link on our site or Twitter profile at Produce Stand Pod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Produce Stand Pod. Thank you for joining us. Now we're going to, we're going to dance to some James Daly. On behalf of Ryan, Victor, Matt, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.
Oh, there's nothing more to say. I'm happy that you came. I hope you feel the same. Cause we've been down this road before. But you came along and I was still singing your songs. Now I can see the
I'm recording again. Hey guys, I know the music's done and we faded away and stuff, but I completely forgot to mention this. Tonight's Limerick wasn't written by me. It was written by our buddy Trace, and he did a great job. And I wanted to make sure that we gave him the proper credit because it was a great Limerick. And as soon we're starting the after party right now, and as soon as I saw Trace's name pop up, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to say that it was him. So kudos to Trace. Well done. He saved me a bunch of work today by writing it for me. He actually wrote me 2 limericks last week, and both of them were amazing. But we chose the best one for tonight. So thank you. And you know what? Trace is on now, so he can say thank you to him personally. Thanks, Trace.
You're very welcome.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.